name's Mel and this is my channel Knit Stitch Grow, and I've come back again today to give you a little rundown on what I've been making over the past few months, mainly between September, October time and to January. So yeah, so some of these tops may seem a bit summery because I kind of started them at the tail end of summer last year, but I really only finished them in December when I was off on my holidays from work. So I thought it's still worth showing you because I'm really pleased with these ones as well. So this is the first one. This is the Peasant top by Love Notions, and it's in this beautiful cobalt blue bubble cotton from Rainbow Fabrics. And this top was lovely to put together. The instructions were really clear. I had my usual problem of my long arms. It's not a problem, but I think I added some fabric to the length of the sleeves on this, and then when I made it up and put it on, I still wasn't happy with the length of the sleeves, so I just needed to add, I don't know, like an inch or so to the sleeves there. So I'd completely finished the top, but it took me until I had some annual leave from work in December to actually add on the extra bits to the cuffs, and now it's the perfect length. I've got some pictures of me wearing this, so hopefully I'll be putting those in at some point soon so you can see what it looks on, but it's really comfy to wear. It's a beautiful colour. Yeah, and can't wait to for the weather to get a bit nicer again so that I can wear this out. So that's my first one down, and the next one is the Whitcomb top, and this is by a company called So Love Patterns, and I do really love this one. It's the kind of print where from afar it can look like leopard print, but if I bring it a bit closer to the camera you can see that it's a floral. It's black floral, and I got this one from Guthrie Ghani a while ago, so I don't know if they've got it in stock anymore, but yeah, it's a long sleeve top with a beautiful bit of gathering just at the neckline here. And it's got a slightly ballooned sleeve, and I chose to put the cuff on this. Initially I made it like the Peasant top, and I had elastic around the cuffs, and I just didn't like the way that it felt, because it's actually quite a lot of fabric in that sleeve, so putting that into an elastic, and because I've got quite skinny wrists, there was a lot of fabric in quite a small circumference of elastic, and it just didn't feel comfy for me. So I decided to take that out and put the cuffs on instead. Now, the reason I didn't go for the cuffs in the first place was because I thought the cuffs would be just far too big, but what I ended up doing was taking about 2 inches out of the length of the cuff. And as you can see, it still gathers in really well into the cuff there, but it means that on me it's not too massive, and I can still get my hand in. So I love this. This pattern is beautiful, and it's really good too because this is just one of the views. So there's another view where you can add an elastic band at the bottom, so you can have like more of a cuffed band at the bottom. You can also make a short sleeved version, and this is completely made using woven fabric, but you can also use jersey fabric, or you can use a combination of jersey and woven. So yeah, there's definitely going to be many more of these in my future, because it's just such a beautiful shape. It's easy to wear, it can be dressed up, dressed down, and then if I make a jersey version of this as well, then it can be like super casual as well. So love this Whitcomb top. Definitely be making more of those. My next make, again, another one I started off kind of September, October time and finished when I was off on my holidays in December. This is, as you no doubt will already have guessed, is a Bestie bag. I made the medium-sized version, and it's made in this canvas fabric. I think it's a poppy fabric. I got this one from Lamazi Fabrics. And it's just a great combination of greens and purples and lilacs. And it really goes with, I've got a green coat, I've got a burgundy hat, so it really goes with my outdoor wear at the moment. I was initially going to do the version where you just tie the straps at the front, but when I did that, I didn't like the way that it looked. So what I did is I just added a slider, and that works perfectly to keep the bag where it needs to be. It's a great size. You know, so many people have made these now, like I'm not going to say too much about it, but it's such a great size. The only thing that I did notice is mine seemed to be a little bit smaller in comparison to the other ones that I was seeing online. And I knew when because I printed the pattern out at home, and I knew when I printed it out, I got I think it was the centimetre scale box I managed to get to size up correctly, but the inch box was slightly off. So I think what's happened is when I've printed off the pattern, the scale of mine has been ever so slightly skewed to be kind of longer and narrower than it's meant to be. And I know this for a fact now because I actually ended up getting it printed off, getting the AO copy printed off, and I've compared the pattern pieces, and yeah, it was so my bag is a slightly smaller and longer version, but I'm definitely going to make another one. I bought some bubble corduroy, some purple bubble corduroy from Beyond the Pink Door. They were having a sale, so I definitely want to make another one, but I do love this one, and it's such a great size. So that is that. Love that. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is the jumper that I'm wearing. So this is a version of the LB Pullover by Paper Theory, and I've made it in this beautiful pink velvet, and it feels so nice, and it's so drapey, and I just love this colour. This came from, I think it was Fabric Godmother in one of their sales a while back. This is going back a few years. It was in one of their sales, and they were having it was really heavily discounted, so I bought about 3 meters of it, I think, and I'm glad I did because it's so lovely. And I realised that I didn't have a lot of drop shoulder jumpers in my wardrobe. So this is a kind of new shape for me, because normally I either have set-in sleeves or a raglan sleeve. So at first I wasn't sure if I liked the shape on me, but actually everybody who's seen it is like, oh, your jumper's lovely. So I think I'll definitely make another LB pullover sometime soon, because actually it's oversized without being too oversized. It's really comfy. This is kind of a drapey fabric, so the neckband does kind of fall over, but I don't actually mind that. I can kind of sit it up, but then I can also let it kind of droop forward. But obviously if I wanted it to stick up, I could put some interfacing in it, or just use a slightly thicker material, and then it would stand up. But yeah, I love this. And I put a, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but it's a little Rosy Cheeks label that says "Love Yourself Revolution," because I just thought that the colour of the label just went really well with the jumper. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's a great jumper to stick on if you're just kind of meeting friends for lunch and that kind of thing, because it's a beautiful warm colour, it's a friendly colour, but it also is just something a bit different to wear. So I'm really pleased with this version, but I definitely want to make more of these as well in the future. So the next thing I want to talk about, because obviously that's a good few finished objects there. I've made a couple of other things that haven't worked out so well. So I also want to share those because I think it's important to kind of, you know, to show that sometimes things work and sometimes things don't work. Now, this is with the caveat that both of the things that I'm going to show, I think I can fix going forward. I'm hoping to be able to fix going forward. I just need to work out what I need to do in order to kind of make them work. So the first one that I'm not going to be able to, because I'm sitting down, I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing, but this is basically a pair of trousers. I'll try and get some pictures of these with all of the stuff that I'm showing today. Hopefully I'm kind of popping in pictures of me actually wearing the things, because I think it makes it easier to see the item when the person's actually wearing it. So I'll try and get some pictures of these too. These are basically too big for me, so they ended up too big. They are, the pattern that I used is the Recessed Play Pants by Matchy Club, and the reason I went for these was because I wanted an elasticated waist trouser which was a kind of relaxed fit, not too high-waisted. I don't do high-waisted, so I wanted to be able to have something that I think they were meant to fit around or just below the natural waist. So I thought, okay, well, you know, I can hopefully kind of take a bit of length out of that as well if I need to. And I made them in this amazing fabric, which I thought, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to like wear this fabric, so I thought I'll do it as kind of like a wearable toile. But actually, I've made them now, and when I had them on, I was like, I actually really love this fabric. So it's a cotton, yeah, it's 100% cotton, abstract flowers from Rainbow Fabrics. So yeah, I really like the shape of these trousers, but they're just far too big. When I looked at the finished measurements, the measurements that I get actually match the size, which is 2 sizes bigger from the one that I thought I was actually making. So I went back and checked the pattern pieces again to make sure that I hadn't cut out the wrong size, and it doesn't look like I have. So I'm really not sure what's going on, or whether they're just meant to be really oversized and then you're meant to kind of use the elastic to cinch in the waist. But I'm hoping that I don't know whether you can see, but there are a lot of seams in these trousers. So there's a seam that runs all along the front and all along the back. I'll maybe try and put in some line drawings so you can see, but there are plenty of seams in these trousers, which I'm hoping means that I can kind of make each seam slightly smaller. That's not what I mean. Bring in the seams more on each pattern piece, so that ultimately they'll be a bit smaller. So yeah, I made those over Christmas, and I was really pleased with the instructions and the way that everything came together. They were just far too big when I actually made them. So that's something that I just need to kind of sit with and work out what I want to do, and whether I want to just do a completely different toile, just of the kind of like a short size toile maybe of the trousers, or whether I just want to go in and try and alter these ones as they are and then just kind of see what happens. So yeah, lovely pattern, no problems with the instructions or whatever, but it was just, they ended up far too big for me. So I just need to work out what I'm going to do to make them fit. And then the next thing that I made was a t-shirt that I've made before, and it's a Closet Core t-shirt, Closet Core Ebony t-shirt. Now the one that I made, that I showed you in my previous video, was a different view. That was the tunic with the raglan sleeves. This one, I decided to make the scoop neck version with set-in sleeves, long sleeves, and it has the lovely kind of cascading fabric. So it's beautiful, and this this fabric is just, I think I've decided this is my favourite colour of red. It's just so beautiful. It's like a blue red rather than an orangey red, and I think a blue red suits me a bit better. So I absolutely love this fabric. It was well, I love it now. When I first got it and first started working with it, I thought, oh, is this going to be like super slippery and just going to be a nightmare? But I just stuck a bit of tissue paper under each of the start of the seams when I was kind of sewing them together, and that worked absolutely fine. So I just took my time, used a bit of tissue paper, and then actually had no problems working with the fabric. And it's so drapey and so fluid. This was actually a viscose jersey that I got from Rainbow Fabrics again, and sadly they don't have any more left, because otherwise I would have bought more, because this colour is just, I absolutely love it. Anyway, why it didn't work out for me was I changed the neckline. So the view that I was going for was the scooped neckline, and when I looked at the drawings, I thought that the scoop was going to be actually a bit too low for me, and it's not always, a really low scoop isn't always flattering on my body. So I brought the neckline up by just over an inch, modified the pattern, modified the neckline on the pattern, and brought that up. And I also, because I was doing the cropped version, I wanted to add some length to the t-shirt as well. So I think I ended up adding a good few inches. And because of that, I then added, I then had to kind of make the pattern pieces match. And so I ended up kind of adding like a bit of extra fabric to kind of this corner of the pattern as well. So I'd raised the neckline, I'd added in a good couple of inches, and then I'd ended up having to, because of that, there was going to be more fabric at the bottom. And the fabric at the bottom wasn't a problem. But I think there's something about me raising the neckline that then weirdly gave me too much fabric at the top of the t-shirt. If I'm feeling brave and kind of want to show you how awful it looks, I'll maybe pop in a picture. But I ended up with like lots of excess fabric in the middle of the t-shirt, but it was also like super tight under the armpits. So it was kind of a weird, like, oh, too tight here, but then lots of excess here. So it just didn't work out. But I'm trying to, I don't know whether, so I guess the way that so this is, yeah, it's kind of a bit of a head scratcher. But I'm wondering whether raising the neckline has added in some fabric, and that's why I've got too much fabric here. But then I also did a forward shoulder adjustment, and I'm wondering whether maybe I didn't do that correctly, and so it's taken too much off the top, and that's maybe why it's a bit snug now under the arms. I'm not sure. I think what I'm going to do is do another version the way it's meant to be in the pattern, and then see how the original fits on me, and whether it's something that I've done that's, you know, that's ended up with this weird, like, too much fabric, too much excess. But anyway, I mean, it's still one that I can kind of wear around the house. Or, I mean, the other thing that I'd thought about was to actually make it into some kind of feature, like to pull in the fabric and then kind of sew it in a way so that it would have like this kind of shape down the front. I don't know how possible that is, but anyway, there's ideas. So if I ever, you know, if I do something with that and I'm able to fix it, I'll show it in another video. But for now, I just I mean, you know, it's fine. I knew that changing the neckline may or may not work, and I think the actual neckline itself worked fine. I ended up taking, I think, about 2 inches off the neckband to fit it into the new size, and that absolutely worked fine. So the neckline itself worked. I just ended up with too much fabric somewhere down the line, so that's something that I need to work out. Anyway, but you know, I'm a learner. I'm learning, so I'm embracing the learning, and hopefully I can work out what I've done. And if I do, I'll show you in another video. So the last thing I want to talk about is plans. So I've already mentioned I want to make another Whitcomb top, and I want to make another LB pullover. The other thing that I've had my eye on is the balloon sleeve cardigan by Wardrobe by Me, and it comes either it's either a round neck or a V-neck cardigan, and I like the look of this because it's a versatile pattern, because you can use a combination of woven and knit fabrics, or all knit fabrics to make it. So that really appealed to me, and I bought some material from Guthrie Ghani, and it's a beautiful cotton knit, so it kind of looks like a knit jumper, which appealed to me. So that's what I fancied making the jumper out. But then when I bought it, I wasn't sure if the fabric would have enough stretch to do the cuff bands and the band around the bottom of the body. So then I took quite a while trying to find some matching ribbing, and in the end I went for a red, which I thought might be quite a good contrast to that. But then, because I'd had a couple of things that hadn't worked out, I'd never sewn a cardigan before, I decided that I would try and make a wearable toile before I used that fabric. So I was looking through my stash and I found this beautiful kind of terracotta fleece lined jersey, which has quite a bit of stretch to it. So I'm going to make it out of this first, and I should be able to make the cardigan and the cuffs and all of, you know, the band and everything out of the same material. And then I remembered I had some buttons, some kind of brownish buttons. So I might use, I got these beautiful buttons from the new craft house, and I'd actually bought these to make, I'm showing you the wrong side, there we go. I'd actually bought these to make to put on a knitted cardigan that I was going to knit, that I had the idea to knit last year. So I'd bought these buttons to go, but I thought these buttons actually work really well on this kind of terracotta brick fabric. So I'm going to use those, I think. But yeah, so that's a plan. So I'll have, and I think I'm going to go for the round neck version, because initially I was going to do the V-neck, but looking at my wardrobe, I don't actually have any V-neck cardigans. I usually wear round neck cardigans. So I'm going to do the round neck and see how that gets on. So hopefully that's something that I can show you in my next video. So I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. So thanks for watching, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye.